Hello my astrology friends, this is Lada from Astrolada.com and this is my astrological interpretation of the year 2024. It will be a fascinating year with a couple of epochal, rare occurrences. It's not gonna be anything close to 2020, which we're thankful for, but we're gonna have a few new cycles start and a few old ones carry on. So overall, I don't think it will be earth-shattering year. It will be more of a transitional year, but there'll be some fascinating developments happening collectively, which we're already starting to see the trends of, and some very surprising ones that we'll try to untangle with the hope of God. And before I start, I want to let you know that my 2024 video horoscope for each of the 12 signs are available. Each sign is 2.5 hours. And it's specifically tailored to you with specific degrees with all the important astrological influences. And currently there will be 30% off just for a few days after this video is released. All right, let's start with 2024. Let's start chronologically. At the very beginning of the year, Pluto will enter into Aquarius. And Pluto hasn't been in Aquarius since the French Revolution and the American Revolution. So you know what we're about for the next 20 years. It's going to be a roller coaster. And every time Pluto ingresses a new sign, which is very rare, sometimes once every 20, 30 years, there is some earth-shattering big developments. And actually in 2023, Pluto dipped its foot into Aquarius for a couple of months in March and in April. And in May or June, so March, April, May, and in June it came out again. So what happened around that time? We were given a preview what's about to come exactly when Pluto enters. This is when ChatGPT and all such AI free softwares explode. They come on the market, and this is exactly Aquarius. Artificial intelligence, digital, and Pluto is like, this thing will take over. Pluto, and it transformed our reality in just those 2-3 months that Pluto was in Aquarius. Like, it's crazy. Almost everyone I know now, whether it's designers, whether it's marketers that I work with, astrologers, and people in my environment, they're all using artificial intelligence tools, which was unknown, for very small selected people before this little dip of Pluto into Aquarius in the spring of 2023. So imagine now in February 20th, when Pluto enters again, January 20th, into Aquarius, and it will be with the sun on that day. So that's the first time in 250 years that Pluto and the sun will meet in Aquarius at 0-degree Aquarius. Something already in January towards the end, something big will be initiated. And it will do with technologies, it will do with artificial intelligence, it will do with anything Aquarius, And it might take 20 years to fully unfold, but no, Aquarius is a fast sign, guys. Aquarius doesn't dilly-dally. It rules high-rise building Aquarius. It rules trampoline jumps, jumping, being shot out with a rocket. So it's not like, the trend starts picking up. No, the trends, when Pluto is in Aquarius, will be viral very quick. So just like we saw ChatGPT, suddenly now everyone's taking courses about AI, how to use it in their work. Imagine, I can't even imagine what we're in for. What is coming in such kind of technological world? We need to keep up. But we need to keep our sanity as well, because when you're overloaded, when you're overstimulated, you disconnect from your soul and your heart. And because the soul and the heart works more like in her synchronization, harmonious energies rather than nervous stress energy. And of course, Pluto in Aquarius will speed up the nervous energy, will deepen it, because Pluto is a deepening planet, will deepen all kind of neurological, nervous, anxious, anything that comes from the nervous system will deepen such issues for 20 years. And it will make it priority for humanity to try and understand it. And all of what we call a lot of the mental health issues, they're actually on the nervous system. Not that you have something wrong here. Your nervous system is overloaded, is overcharged with EMFs, with stimulation, with worries and stress. And Pluto will make us pay attention already from 2024 about such topics, about any emissions, because Pluto is people digging deep. People are not satisfied with what they're being fed and on the surface what they're being told. If you're being told, this is what science gives you. Aquarius rules science. Aquarius rules technology. Aquarius rules wave technology, EMFs, anything that we usually don't understand much from. We use it, but we're like, oh, okay, it's science if they say. But when Pluto enters Aquarius, something happens in the soul of humans and they're like, we're going to dig deep. Pluto never, like Scorpio energy, never takes things at face value. There's always been people that dig deep, but now it will become on a collective over the next 20 years. But I told you it's going to happen so quickly, not over the next 20 years. From the beginning, people on a collective level will start asking questions. The Pluto leaves no stone unturned. It digs deep like a detective and starts asking and not trusting. This is the Plutonian energy. Imagine Scorpio energy. And start making connections and feeling and smelling a rat. Or intuitively, Pluto is very intuitive. People start becoming more intuitive, understanding that, okay, what science says, or what it's about those EMFs, because especially such issues that affect the nervous system, that usually come from over-digitization of the environment as well. So it's anxiety, stress, twitchings, all kind of restlessness. These are very Aquarian nervous system situations that are called mental health issues now. But it's like the nervous system trying to adapt to this overstimulation of the environment. So Pluto will make us really take a deep, long look at that. And people will take action, because Pluto on the highest vibration is divine will, or human will that is aligned to divine will. So it's a planet of action, is the high vibration of Mars, but it's action that is like focused, laser focused, without distractions. Oh, well, maybe we'll do it tomorrow. No, so collectively, this is the good energy. I see humanity bonding into a tight knit and speaking out against such kind of things of science and digitization, and being more cautious, being more careful. But the low vibration of Pluto at the same time is suppression, oppression, dictatorship. That's like brutal imposing of it's on others without consideration of free will. So there will be this push from the low vibration. There is always forces that work with the low vibrations of planets and forces that work with the higher vibrations of planets, which I'm hoping, what I was telling you at the beginning, how it will mobilize humanity to pay more attention to this, to stop letting, say, science knows it all, people to start looking, researching, experimenting, trying, raising awareness about such topics. And but at the same time, there will be almost like a ruthless push for control. That's like the really high, low vibration of Pluto. Total control and domination through what? Aquarius. Through technologies. Through Aquarius also rules the consciousness of humans. The rational mind, kind of. It rules the brain. One of the biggest part of the nervous system is the brain. Because Aquarius rules all systems. The nervous systems, the brain. So it will be trying to control people through, it sounds scary, but you're seeing it, through information, Aquarius, through their minds, through their brains. And as probably all of you know who are watching this, that electric currents, strong electric currents, EMF, they disrupt the ability of humans to think. They can never think as clearly, because it interferes electricity with the brain, which also runs on electricity. So these themes, you have to become very aware, because first of all, Pluto is something that can be very, even life-threatening and detrimental. The use of such technologies can be life-threatening and detrimental over the next 20 years, starting already. And we'll have to be protected against it, raise awareness. So such themes will be very, very big for many years ahead, starting from 2024. Now, what else happening And of course, Aquarius being science, Pluto is about digging out the dirt of something. So it will release the dirt of science, the atrocities of mad scientists, and of course there will be more of those obsessed, satanic ruled, almost you can say, because CERN, all this, they actually have rituals there. There's videos of them doing luciferic rituals in CERN, because such kind of science on the highest level, it's like magic for us, and it's you can rip through the reality. I have to mention that, because magic is not what used to be with, let's make some potion or whatever. Magic can be used through science, especially subatomic science, quantum science, and so on. You can reach into the subatomic levels, where it's the lower astral, as we call it, and release entities and so on. So usually a lot of occult activities happening on very high level scientific facilities, rituals and so on, because this is how they connect to entities as well. It's not just for research. So such kind of things people will start becoming aware of, those dirty, darker side of science. There may be some atrocities, but also there will be a push for science to control people and to impose some kind of agenda, but people will be more and more aware. Just like Pluto has been in Capricorn for the last 14 years or something. What happened over those years? There is not a single person that trusts the institutions and governments anymore, because Pluto reveals the dirty games, revealed all the corruptions in Capricorn, of the trusted institutions, of the trusted corporations, which is Capricorn as well, of the trusted governments. And there's usually a grab for control, like a control grab during that time, like we saw with Pluto in Capricorn in 2020. And it's kind of like a desperate, peg you to the wall situation, predatory energy. So same can happen with science, Aquarius, with technocrats. These will be the new rulers, because Pluto is who has the power. Aquarius is people in science. Are they, though, high-level spiritual people that are using it for good, or are they dark initiates? Or are they clueless about it, but they're serving some agenda? How is that power going to be used? And we have great danger of abuse of such power, which is already happening. You can break the laws of divine will, like manipulation with human DNA. Pluto also rules DNA. Aquarius rules. It's the human, because Aquarius sign is a human. So every time Aquarius is activated, there is very big, especially by planets like Pluto, very big challenges to humanity, to the development of our consciousness, but also very big evolutionary pushes ahead, because consciousness starts rising and vibrating faster. Aquarius is the energy during all history of humanity. Looking back, I've looked esoterically over billions of years, when Aquarius cycles, which they last millions of years. This is something much bigger than our local zodiac. But every time Aquarius was activated, was bifurcation of consciousness. Entities starting one branch of the population or civilization or hierarchies developing much faster, while the others starting to become more redundant, starting to regress. And it becomes more and more visible. And we're 2,000 years ahead into Aquarius, age of Aquarius. It will become so visible within 2,000 years that there will be two types of human. The new Adam, which will be probably some mixture between human and cyborg or machine, or soulless, or regressing more to animalistic form, like esoterics, like Rudolf Steiner said, that within 2,000 years, humans will start looking different from each other. While the ones that much faster, Aquarius always activates much faster development of the consciousness, because humans never stay in the same level of consciousness. 2,000 years ago, a human would think and would have even a bit differently made organs within them. 6,000 years ago, there were certain parts of the brain that were not there, certain parts of the body that were not exactly like they are. Even though scientists might not agree with this, but consciousness was very different. So we're now on an accelerated path of change of consciousness. First, the next 20 years, it's huge. There'll be some people will be awakening as if they've done the work, if they're moral, if they've been good human beings. Because how the higher abilities, which Aquarius rules, which telekinesis, hearing, reading minds, wave. You don't need wave technology. The higher vibration is you don't need digital technologies of Aquarius. You need the higher vibration of Aquarius is tapping into channels of knowledge that are invisible and just reading minds, just knowing the truth intuitively, just downloading information without connecting to AI or the internet. So you start seeing, I'm very excited. It's almost like what's called the second coming of Christ, the coming of the Son of Man, because the Son of Man is representation in the Bible of the sign of Aquarius, the Son of Man. And even Jesus was saying the Son of Man, the second coming, it's connected. So when the age of Aquarius comes, esoteric Christianity knows that that's when the second coming comes, not Christ coming on earth, the Christ consciousness being born in more and more humans. It will take about 2,000 years, but it will become like waves. And what is that? This is the etheric vision being awakened in humans. Because we've lost it. We used to have it a few thousand years ago. We had to dip into matter and we're coming out of it. And Aquarius is the time when the etheric vision, the ability to tap into those channels that are surrounding the whole earth. There is an etheric version of the earth, etheric matrix that has these channels of information, cosmic information, those entities and beings. So it's time for those abilities of humans to start waking up, and it will be viral. Aquarius is viral, fast awakening of consciousness, while those that consciously or semi-consciously choose the opposite are virtuous. Because what awakens spiritual quality is not just meditating. You can do it without any meditation. It's building virtues. It's building kindness, good, normal human being, better than good, forgiveness, kindness, working on your shadow. If you've been doing such things, I tell you that over the next 20 years, starting from 2024, there will be more and more humans that are starting to open the etheric vision, downloading information, seeing the etheric Christ, actual meetings with Christ, Christ being, feeling the etheric energies connected here through the solar split, and this feeling of love coming through you, love being filled in, and this magnetization of the heart that connects to the mind and creates this harmonious shapes around you, energetic, that no kind of EMFs, no kind of attacks from around can break through. This is the kind of etherization of the blood. You can watch Gigi Yang, amazing, on YouTube for more knowledge on this. But I'm going back to astrology because this is the process. Starting with Pluto in Aquarius, the awakening of the consciousness, the awakening of humanity. And it's not just awakening about certain knowledge and information. It's awakening of the nervous system, which Aquarius rules in such a way that activates the heart nervous system brain connection and speeds up the spiritual psychic abilities of humans, because Aquarius is the sign of, reading, channeling, and so on, seeing, downloading information. Well, unfortunately, there will be a number of humanity, which is, again, Aquarius rules humanity. Aquarius rules the normal people, the majority of people, not the elite or those that's a difference. And Aquarius is the normal people, the demographics, the population. And Pluto is planet of evolution. The fastest evolution is going to start happening of consciousness. But for this to happen, there will be a big pressure from outside with the darker side of Pluto, with oppression, with control, with manipulation of some sort, and the darker side of Aquarius maybe through technologies and so on. And of course, Aquarius is freedom, and Pluto might try and again limit freedom of speech, oppress it, control it, but it will become more and more obvious consciously to people. And of course, freedom is truly more within quality than outside. What else happened for the 2 months Pluto was in Aquarius in 2023? Well, we had exactly when Pluto entered, from March and April, 3 of the biggest banks in America collapse, and in Europe, like Credit Suisse, and so and a few other banks. So it started. What does Aquarius rule as well? The free markets, all the economy of the systems, because Aquarius is where people come exchange. So all the markets are Aquarius. So Pluto is coming much longer now. It will stay almost the whole year in Aquarius, and then it will dip September and October into Capricorn. Again, there will be some shift there with governments. So October, November, big shifts in governments, in political, because Pluto will be in Capricorn. This is a prediction. I cannot tell you who will win the election, but I'm saying elections or whatever in the world, because there are many important elections in 2024 in Russia, in the States, and where else. But there will be some big shift turnaround here because Pluto is changing, shifting. And then Pluto goes back into Aquarius to stay. So already from January, I might start thinking sometimes this year there'll be more banks that are, or something with the stock market, or that is going to be big shift. Last time Pluto changed signs from Sagittarius to Capricorn was 2008. Guess what happened 2008? The subprime banking crisis. And now we just dipped in Aquarius for a little bit, and bangs, bum, 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 bum. And now it's coming full in, much long, almost like it's fully in Aquarius the whole year. We have to watch out. Those banks, the stock markets, that will be a big change, or the whole economy, some big transformation is happening. And again, I think it will be fast because it's Aquarius. Aquarius is we said the consciousness, the genome, AI technology. Of course, I warned that Pluto is the planet of death on the low vibrational, high as well, because death can be very high vibrational thing. Pluto in Aquarius corresponds with times when humanity's numbers dwindle. It can happen through nefarious means, or it can happen naturally through birth, demographic birth, lowering of birth rates. I want to tell you that from 2020, it's starting already, because the birth rates within a year or two in one of the first world countries have dwindled 40% statistically. These are statistics from 2023. Pluto just dipped. I don't know if it's done artificially. I don't know if it's done through scientific. There is possible through scientific manipulations and through all the EMFs that are around us, through the stress, or is it natural response? But it's part of the plan. It's part of God's plan as well, let's say. And birth rates have fallen 40% in some first world countries. We've never seen this. And many countries are starting to do investigations why there is much bigger death rate with 30-40% than other years from 2022-23, when Pluto has been on the verge of Aquarius. This has started. We're seeing it. I'm not making this up. If I find those charts, I'll put them here. But much bigger death rates than normal, and much bigger, less birth rates. So there'll be this dwindling for next 20 years or more of the population of humanity. The dark forces can help with that, but I think it's also part of divine plan. So yeah, that's another thing we're seeing already. Like if you go back and watch my 2023 video, the things that I said, and I'm kind of repeating a little bit now, they started happening. Of course, Aquarius is a sign of revolution, rebellion of the people. Pluto is intense reaction. There will be clashes around the world. There will be very fast viral trend and news for many years ahead, that starting from 2024, that they grab people and call revolutions happens, just like and society, Aquarius rules society, the whole social order will be transformed in such a way that it's, unrecognizable. And the ultimate goal of it will be to give more freedom of people. But in the process of those 20 years, it might first take the freedom of people so they realize how important it is. Aquarius is the sign of freedom, of personal rights. What are your personal rights as a member of society? So first, Pluto does it in extreme ways. Someone will try and take your freedom and your rights, so you realize it and you realize how important it is. Just like people during the French Revolution realized, just like people in the American Revolution for independence realized when Pluto was in Aquarius again. And it might get bloody sometimes. Pluto can lead to extreme reactions and death toll and so on, but freedom is worth fighting for. And I think in nowadays most civilized society, maybe there will be other ways of battling that, more civilized ways. But the will of the people will be heard more and more. The will of the people will try to be suppressed more and more, because it means it's becoming stronger. That's the will of the people, is Pluto in Aquarius. Pluto is willpower, Aquarius is the people. And because it will be heard more and more, it will be tried to be suppressed more and more, but it's like trying to stop a dam from breaking by putting plaster on it. Sooner or later, there will be revolutions around people. I'm excited. May God protect us, that we're, at the right place at the right time, but there will be big shifts in society, just like after the last time Pluto was in Aquarius, monarchies fell down. They've been there for hundreds of years, kings ruling, and suddenly it's republics. And suddenly America is free and independent, and so on, All right. Revolutions, fast trends, fast movements of the collective sweeping. That's Pluto in Aquarius, pretty much. There are a lot of things we can look at, but a lot of the atrocities of science will be exposed. There'll be a lot of focus on, of course, control through digital and so on. I'm not going to repeat myself, just watch it other times. And of course, Pluto in Aquarius means people will rise in power of Aquarian with technologies, people that are very knowledgeable, who will have the power in the next 20 years, people with incredible knowledge. So I would advise you to be aligned to the times ahead. Learn, keep up in touch with the new technologies or trends. Or it doesn't have to be even technological, just knowledge. Don't rely on specialists. Aquarius is about critical thinking, discrimination. Aquarius is very intuitive sign, not just thinking with your mind. This is more Gemini, logically. Aquarius is like getting information and intuitively, because it's ruled by Uranus. Intuitively knowing if it's true or not true, because Uranus is the planet of truth, authentic, So it's like knowing it like information, bam, oh, it feels right. So this is the qualities we need to develop. Of course, I see a revolution and transformation coming in astrology. I hope it's not, because Pluto also rules persecutions, and it can persecute people that are Aquarian in nature, dissidents who don't agree with the systems, rebels. There can be persecutions for such people. There can be persecutions for real genius people. There can be persecutions for astrologers, people spreading knowledge, people trying to bring information that is truthful. But at the same time, such people will have the true internal power to transform society, and society will be transformed. Believe me, this process is starting. It will be already transformed from 2024, but it's going to be such a different system a few years from now. And I have hope that the will of humans, Aquarius, Pluto, will dominate and become more powerful, because Pluto will be supported by Saturn, by Uranus, by Neptune in the next few years. So I have high hopes for that. And of course, educate yourself, get involved in participation. Your businesses have to be digitize in some way, online presence, which is Aquarius, because that's where the power is, the big money, Pluto. Your businesses, you need to kind of participate in some apps and so on to reach more people. But there will be people that become very rich through anything Aquarian for many years ahead. Sciences, higher knowledge, technologies, and esoteric knowledge as well, which is also Aquarian. Social reform, social work of some sort as well. Now, at the same time, Saturn continues to be in Pisces. It entered there on the 7th of March 2023 and will stay there till 2025. If you watch my video for 2023, the first 1 hour I speak about Saturn in Pisces. And pretty much everything I said has happened. I warned, and this continues to be a trend the whole 2024. I warned about some big damages to dams, floods, and we saw in 2 dams broke this year. One was in Ukraine, and another one, I forgot where it was. There was huge floods because Pisces is water. Saturn is damage, problems. There was big droughts because Saturn can block the water, or there is big damage done by water, and we've had some of the hugest floods there. This will continue as a trend. Another thing I said about Saturn in Pisces was that Pisces rules the medical industry, big pharma, the hospitals, doctors, and I said Saturn is corrective measures. Now there is a lot of cases that big pharma is being sued for damages. In 2023 it happened already. It will continue in 2024. There might be pay time. And Saturn is a fall, something to fall down or to get what you deserve. So the Pfizer's, AstraZeneca's, whatever, actually AstraZeneca has been said that it's a faulty product, has been confessed, has been said it's damaging. Pfizer's stock market value dropped 40% in 2023 with Saturn in Pisces because, it is Saturn in Pisces, and they'll be corrective, and people are making a big push that they take the power away from big pharma. People are saying, why shouldn't big pharma be liable for damages that they do? And there's thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, court cases that started in 2023 towards big companies, but by law, they're not allowed to be sued. So there's a big push now that their immunity will be taken down. We don't know if the government will allow this, but Saturn is bringing this kind of the need for corrective measures there. And there's a lot of doctors coming back and apologizing for the medical things that happen and so on. But this will continue, like Saturn is corrective, punishing, or you get what you deserve type of thing, while the ones that were correct were exonerated in the medical industry. Of course, so that's another thing that we see, but also Saturn is another vibration of Saturn is taking control. It's a bit like Pluto, but in a different way, taking administrative, legal control. And we also have another situation happening in 2023 and 2024 where World Health Organization, which is Pisces again, because it's connected with health, is trying to take away the rights of all countries that participate in this, who, if there is some kind of a threat, the countries no longer can determine what's happening in the countries. They, for example, World Health Organization says there is a new threat, everything closes, this will stay open, that's what medicine you have to take, this is compulsory, what kind of treatment you have to do. And if you don't agree, UN sends its nations that works with the World Health Organization, sends its armies. So it takes full executive power from governments. This is what they're trying to make governments sign now in 2024 in May. Will it happen? Saturn is this control, legislative control, so there'll be a big push for that, but I think also a big resistance. And a lot of countries, we're already seeing quite a few countries saying no. Saturn is the power to say no. We have 3 countries from Europe, as far as I know, Slovakia so far. Was it Slovakia and I forgot which there, I have to check, but some countries are pulling out, but others will be under this. So there is that other situation that we'll be aware of and we'll have to pay attention of this. Okay. And I also said in 2023 video that Saturn in Pisces can be connected to mystery illnesses. Pisces is mysterious sign, and there is like so many news, like died, we don't know what from. And there was doctors saying 40% of the death cases in 2023 has been reasons unknown. Exactly like I said, because Pisces is something mysterious. A lot of us know what might be, but doctors and mainstream is saying reasons unknown. So many unknowns, 40%. They said they've never seen anything like that. Mystery illnesses, hard to diagnose, and so on. Of course, it's very much connected. Pisces rules the lymphatic system and the T cells that battle cancers. And Saturn there suppresses. It basically rules the immune system, Pisces. So one of the biggest reasons for mystery illnesses has been suppressed immune system in humans that I spoke about 2023. And is it through chemicals? Is it through lifestyles? But it's been rise of 60 to 200% of cancers in 2023. 60 in countries to 200%, twice as many. In some cancers, up to 600%, which is 6 times. So something with the T cells, with the immune system. So, I give advice to people to strengthen the immune system in any way they can. Jumping, moving the lymphatic is very important. There are medicines that help with the lymphatic and so on. And of course, parasites. Pisces rules parasites. Be more cautious about parasites because parasites also can cause such stuff. There is ivermectin and stuff like that about parasites because Pisces is something that on the law of vibration that can suck from you and spread viciously, hiddenly within you. So any kind of parasite cleanse with fenbizanol and so on, I'm just giving some directions that can really help people with the immune system because parasites are one of the biggest drain on the immune system. Anyway, let's move to some other things of Saturn in Pisces. So you see there are some very good sides where some people receive what they deserve, or some institution organizations, correctiveness and so on. There's some more less positive. Another thing, Pisces and Saturn is, I spoke about the increasing escalation of problems with immigration and refugees, because Pisces rules all displaced people, immigrants, people that, let me explain. Pisces is refugees, Pisces is drug addicts, Pisces is people that are sick, Pisces is orphans, Pisces is the unemployed, Pisces is anyone in an afflicted situation. They can't take care of themselves, they need help. They're in some kind of a helpless situation. So this has escalated. You see the streets of many countries are littered with drug users. It's like a zombie apocalypse in some countries. And Saturn says like, we have to make something about it. Even the governments are pressed to do it. There is measures that have to be taken. And the other thing is immigration, refugees. It's been such a huge mass problem. And we're seeing already in 2023, I said, with Saturn there, they will need to change direction and governments will start changing what they're doing. They'll start saying this cannot carry on. So, for example, Germany, Sweden, and a few other countries, in 2023, they said enough, no more immigrants. We're making it much harder for immigration. We're closing the borders. In Europe, anyone can pass the way they want. They closed borders and they said from now on the borders are closed. You cannot, and that's lowered so many times the immigration rate within a few weeks. So I see further developments of that where there is an outcry of what refugees or immigrations. There is a crisis there connected to immigration and refugees. And I know it's not easy being on the refugee side as well, but it's some kind of corrective measures, government involvement there. And of course, for drug addicts, the addicted, the sick, almost like taxing the system to help such people. The system will feel overwhelmed. Saturn is the system, overtaxed with helping people that are sick, that are on benefits, this is all Pisces thing, that are drug addicts, but also starting to put some order, starting to put some organizations, starting to fix those issues. Saturn cannot fully fix them. We can never fix fully such issues, but starting to do some system, some organization, more awareness there. All right. Oh, I can talk so much about Saturn in Pisces, but border control. Of course, Pisces is anything to do with foreigners. Saturn, the law of vibration is resentment. There can be xenophobia that starts happening. It's starting to happen. It's happening. In Ireland, violence exploded for xenophobia, again. So with refugees and so on. We're seeing the same now, anti-Palestinian, anti-Semitic. There is this xenophobia as well. We're starting to see also religion. Pisces rules religions, religious beliefs. And Saturn is the consequences of long-lasting religious antagonism. And we're seeing what's escalating as well. We can see religious tensions in some way. All right. And the water things, we said water can continue to be a big issue. Drugs, oceans, waters, dams, floods, drying up of water, big pharma, fall of stocks, consequences of misdeeds. Oh, chemical accidents. Pisces rules all chemicals and so on. With Saturn, have you seen the amount in 2023 of trains derailing trucks with chemical contamination? That in all over the world, in the States in particular, we'll continue to see this as a trend. With there is this something chemical, again 2023, I speak about that chemical contamination, to be careful. And I want to warn you that Saturn in Pisces nearing to Neptune, which will happen in 2025 more, but from 2024, from towards the end, this is when proper pandemics can happen, or illnesses that spread. And again, I highly advise you, remove parasites, strengthen immune system, remove unnecessary chemical exposures in yourself. In 2024, prepare for that, because Pluto's Neptune in 2025 in particular, that can be COVID will look like a kid's play or something more intense, and that's more damaging, more poisonous in some way. So again, I sound like such fearmonger, but last time Saturn and Neptune conjunct, not last time, because then there was no disease in 1990. But Saturn and Neptune before that, a few times when they were together, there were big outbreaks, like 2017, the Spanish flu. We looked a few times back, there were some plague outbreaks. So that's, it corresponds this. So just to be aware, there is this danger. And again, we pray to God that it skips us this time, but it's a possibility. So, I don't think it will be in 2024. If it is more towards the end, more towards 2025, 26, when they kind of are really on top of each other. Okay, so lots of those themes. We continue, but the first 4 months of 2024, the first 4 or 5 months, Saturn and Jupiter will be in sextile. It's not exact all the time, but they're within 3-4 degrees always sextiling, which is really good. And by sign, at least, they're sextiling, which says that the first 3 months, especially of the year, will be very auspicious time. Anything that's begun, if you begin, when Saturn and Jupiter in auspicious aspect, whatever you begin, it unfolds, it grows, but it's long-lasting as well. And it's stable. So starting for businesses, very auspicious for such things. Any initiatives, the first 3 months, especially I would advise you, start anything new the first 3 months, because there are a lot of new cycles beginning in the first 3 months. New cycle between Mars and Venus, new cycle between Venus and Mercury and Mars, new cycle between a lot of conjunctions. That's what I mean. When there are a lot of conjunctions and all planets are moving direct the first few months of the year, the first 3 months, let's say, until the end of March, everything is moving direct. That's very rare. When planets are moving direct, you explore new territories, you begin new things, new plans, you write them down, you get new ideas, you dare, you move ahead. And then planets from April start moving retrograde, so that will be a sign to maybe retract back, start changing something that you've already begun, and so on. But the real push is the first 3 months. Go ahead, explore new territories, be a little bit daredevil, I would advise you. All those new cycles, and even with this daredevil, it will take you somewhere new that it's probably breaking from your comfort zone, but it's good for you. So don't hold back if ideas come, if propositions come to do something you've never done. Go for it. Try it. Even if it's a failure, you will learn something very good. This is the time of the year, the first 3 months, to really experiment and do new things. And Saturn's holding sextile to Jupiter says that most likely the things you begin will be successful long term and can take years to unfold fully, but will be successful. Then we continue. The other next big event is, of course, there is eclipses in Aries and Libra in April. What can I tell you? These are war, peace situations that are escalating. There might be a peace with one of the eclipses being signed, maybe, while with the other, which is in Aries. One is in Libra, South Node, ending some kind of agreement, whatever. The other was in Aries. There might be escalation of a conflict and so on. So these themes are present in the spring as well. But then the other big event that's probably the most important for 2024 is Uranus will join Jupiter. Oh, I'd love to talk about it. I've made an interview with Victor, which is 1 hour long and a bit more about Uranus conjunct Jupiter. He gives a lot of in-depth advice. If you want to watch it, it's from the 2024 Astrolada Marathon. But I'll give you my perspective now. Well, this happens once every 13 years. Last time it happened was 2010, a little bit 2011. Think back to this time, but it happened in Aries, the previous sign. So it will be different this time. But this burst of energy, if you start something around Jupiter, Uranus, for example, I started my astrology career then, especially something to do with knowledge, with wisdom. It's very good to begin then. Some new system to study something new, because Jupiter is angelic knowledge and wisdom, so the higher astral, and Uranus is divine knowledge and wisdom, which is the beyond the astro. Higher astro is the Devachan, or whatever you call it, is the higher heavens. So two planets of very high vibrational wisdom coming together. Fantastic time. This is April, from 20th of April onwards, but I would say the whole, starting from spring till the end of the year, no, the whole year, Jupiter and Uranus are not far from each other, but especially around the spring, if you have an impulse, or no, even if it's before that, it doesn't have to be the exact conjunction. It might be a few months before that. So from the beginning of 2024 towards the end even of 2024, if you have an impulse to study something new, you discover something that brings you new meaning, that illuminates you, that makes you feel excited, that makes you feel meaningful and purposeful. So fantastic time to anything to do, launching businesses with knowledge, not launching businesses with spreading of any kind of higher knowledge, or starting to learn anything, or realizing something. Sudden downloads, it's Uranian energy like Aquarius. Sudden downloads of wisdom, Jupiter. Sudden revelations, eureka moments. Maybe in April and May they're the strongest, but you have it, each one in different area of your life. For Taurus, it will be the strongest. Taurus will have just like I had my eureka moment when Jupiter and Uranus conjuncted in Aries, because I'm an Aries. That's when I started my astrology career, and it went viral. It's very fast. It takes off very fast. So I think a new wave of astrologers is coming, a new wave of astrology knowledge, a new wave of astrology software, maybe to do something with AI or whatever, but a new way of brilliant astrology knowledge, because Uranus, Jupiter is always to do with high knowledge like astrology, human design, psychology, the sciences, the psychological, and any other kind of sciences as well. There'll be a boom. Of course, discoveries, scientific, like Victor said, Instagram and social media became big with the last one. There'll be a new discoveries, but the demo circled around over the next 12 years, Uranus, Jupiter, because it's not just, in April, our whole food system changes, Taurus, or our whole money system changes, Taurus. No, something begins then that will take 12, 13 years to complete. Usually by the opposition, you'll see the full-blown results. So new money system. Don't be surprised if in April they said, okay, the old money will not be switched off, but it will take like wildfire. The new money system, which is central digital currencies, but so it will It's coming. There is no way around it. It will, by the time Jupiter is probably in Scorpio in 5-6 years, 7, it will be when it's in full bloom. But they're not going to take away money yet, paper money. They'll try and do it when Saturn is in Taurus to remove the old system of money. That's when we're fully enslaved. We'll see. It's just a possibility. It might not happen. But for now, these new digital currencies, whatever, there might be some new shock in the financial system around that time in the spring for the Northern Hemisphere. I'm talking autumn, Southern Hemisphere. Some big shock that makes the financial system change and so on. And remember, Pluto is in Aquarius there, the economic, the markets. So we're having some very interesting situation here. Let's see if it really shakes us up like that, or if it's more gentle, and if it's more, this new financial system is coming, way of paying, which is Taurus, but let's see if it's like a shock. For example, they close all banks and say, oh, suddenly, some bank crisis, or if it's going to be like more gentle. I think there is indications for having it more gentle, but we'll see. And the other thing, Taurus, is the food system. New foods are being introduced already, because Taurus will be in, Jupiter and Uranus have been in Taurus for a while already. For Uranus for a few years, Jupiter for 5-6 months already. But when them being together, they start the new cycle in Taurus. Over the next 12 years, the cycle, especially escalation when Jupiter is in Scorpio, when you see really like it's taken fully, how we eat is changed. Some of us will be eating bugs, some of us will be eating synthetic meats, because Uranus is also technologies. But some of us will be developing and eating much more nutritional food. There will be some brilliant people will find ways to, to do food that is healthier, because again, remember, the high vibration of Uranus and Jupiter is divine wisdom, angelic wisdom, astral wisdom, high Devachan wisdom. So there'll be downloads of foods and nutrition and nutritional ways of raising foods that one apple can feed you. For example, they say that nowadays one apple has 1/10 of the nutrients it used to have before. Might be true in some cases. Kai, go away. Oh, naked baby, sorry. But I think something is coming, and they'll popularize, and it will become viral for many people who are attuned to those high vibration of Jupiter, Uranus, and Taurus over the next 12 years to do some kind of raising food and growing food, and that is very more high vibrational and filled with divine wisdom. And that will be, for example, I've seen videos where they put kind of electric currents or something like that, and plants grow 10 times bigger with just as much nutrition. So there will be some revolution there. For some people, the revolution is eating totally different than before, the lower vibration, for other, and that's, maybe things that are kind of not very natural and so on. For others, it will be opportunity, if you learn that system of knowledge, to really take it to another level, nutrition and so on. So that's Taurus's food, money, resources, prices. There might be a big rise in prices as well with this, but also big opportunities to make money. Oh, of course, Bitcoin, Uranus, Jupiter, in Taurus, that's Bitcoin. There will be a big rise of Bitcoin and digital currencies, which are not centralized as well. There will be the centralized that come, but the digital ones, and I think there will be halving of Bitcoin in the spring of 2024, which corresponds exactly with Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. Every time there is a halving of Bitcoin, it triples in value, doubles. I believe at least it will double. But like Victor said, he's more knowledgeable in financial astrology. Try sell quickly after that, because by the middle of the summer it might drop very fast as well. But there is a big chance Bitcoin or other digital altcoins. If you're knowledgeable about that, maybe not so much Bitcoin will double, but some altcoins can 10,000 times, So some people will be made very rich. Something will happen in the spring with the money, with the finances, with the economic system, with the digital currencies or something, with the economic situation that will bring an opportunity for some of people, for some of you, that will make you very wealthy and that's a cycle of 12 years. Just like when Uranus Jupiter was in Aries, I started something that has been my source of wealth and prosperity and joy for so many years. Hope it's not finishing for me because this Aries cycle is finishing. Maybe a new interesting opportunity will open, but there will be some incredible opportunities coming this year, not just in the spring, the whole year. And if you grab it, if you're attuned to this high vibration and knowledge of the trends, especially with money, with food, with land, this historian thing, you will be very rich in the future, or maybe even immediately. That's the get rich, that's sudden big wealth for some of you. Uranus is sudden flukes of wealth and so on, and even lottery winnings and so on. The wealth maker, the money maker. So let's see. Oh, sorry, like it's a crack. And then I'm inserting this into the video if it interrupted weirdly, but I wanted to tell you that next year, 2024, the chart of the European Union will be lit up and going crazy, because the European Union has their moon in 24 degrees Taurus. That's where the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction will be. And as you can see, the 10th house is the leadership of the European Union, the heads, and actually they're unelected. Uranus passing over there and opposing, look at that, Mars and Pluto, super violent, explosive combination for the European Union, Mars and Pluto. There will be riots, Uranus. There will be, maybe the leadership will be changed, or people would be rebelling. There might be even violence and something, but there will be, Uranus is very rebellious. It's about separations, divorces. There might be countries breaking apart from the European Union, not wanting to be part of there. Something will be shaken. And you see, Mars and Pluto is in the 4th house, the people, the land. They might like infiltration there and explosions, explosive energies because of that. And of course, it will be squaring the Saturn of European Union. These are the allies. There might be a breakup there. But like the whole horoscope of the European Union is activated by Uranus. Uranus, again, breaking up, separations, or big changes, shakeups, big, or people resisting, rebelling against something new that's coming. It might be the new digital currencies or whatever, but there will be a big outcry because of that. So let's see how that plays out as well. From the end of May, and I have to warn you, Jupiter with Uranus are conjunct very close to Algol, within 4 degrees, but still you see Algol and Jupiter there, Uranus there. Uranus is sudden shakes. Algol is the star of death and destruction. It's like the Death Star of Darth Vader. It's the ancient Chinese text called Algol as bodies upon bodies. But, I really hope there is a danger of like earthquakes around that time, especially around the April, May. There is danger of some kind of a natural thing, which is Taurus, that can bring, because of the algal influence. Otherwise, I wouldn't think it will lead to death and such kind of stuff. But because of the algal influence, which is the star of Gorgona Medusa, it's, I would say you be more prayerful around that time to be protected. There might be some cataclysm around, natural. Especially there's Aquarius, Uranus, Jupiter. It's usually very positive. It's great for traveling. Oh my God, I might be doing an astrology conference in Bulgaria in May, right after, around the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, because it's fantastic for knowledge. What can I say? And when I ask people, they always say, "Oh, last Jupiter-Uranus, the best travels, the best trip." So that's fantastic in such levels for trips, for aero. There'll be like planes and so on for traveling. And of course, Taurus is nature, Taurus is agriculture, nature, but it's more like the domesticated nature. There'll be a lot more awareness, knowledge, and interest in those themes. And Taurus is one of the most angelic signs. Taurus rules the opposite of Scorpio. Scorpio on the low vibration is the underground, the lower astral, demonic. On the high vibration is very high level esoteric stuff, transformation, the holy dove, and so on. But Taurus is natural world. Pluto, Scorpio is the subworld. So the natural world is the plants, the flowers, the butterflies, the animals. And they, according to esoteric knowledge, they're created and they're kind of presided over by the angelic hierarchies. And the archangel hierarchies, they're above the angelic hierarchies, they deal with humans and so on. But angelic hierarchies, so that's really the higher astral. So having Taurus, Jupiter-Uranus conjunction there, I think a lot of people that are aligned to that might start connecting to those elementals and beings that take care of nature, of animals, because every tree has elementals and angels that developing, just like scientists here develop a brand or some kind of experiments, it's angels in the higher world. And let's say they're more evolved than us, they're the next step after humanity, that they say you're the angel of the oak trees, and you kind of, you make sure they develop, whatever, the evolution and everything. Angels are not sitting playing arfs. They're scientists. They're developing. They're scientists, artists. They're just one step ahead of humanity. So they're not arf singing butterflies in sky. Whoever's seen angelic beings has done research. They're actually like very esteemed professors, very esteemed social workers of the highest level, and so on. So anyway, so connecting to this, to the wisdom, Jupiter and Uranus, of the divine through nature, it will become more and more accessible. Tapping into the life force of nature, of the natural world, the natural, not the low vibrational subatomic one, which is dangerous for humanity, that can unleash the subatomic lower astral beings of Pluto, of Scorpio, but the Taurian one, truly connecting to the wisdom of nature. I see a resurrection of such movements, of such lifestyles over the next 12 years. People getting, Uranus is about communities, Jupiter is communities that are based on faith and similar understanding and knowledge, but it's not going to be like some kind of hippie-ish. No, it's going to be more scientific faith, a deeper understanding of that communities are forming around veneration and understanding, and tapping into the energies of nature, around raising food, around taking care of animals, or moving out to live into more natural environment. This will be a trend starting now for 13 years ahead. You'll see a big rise of that. And a lot more education, understanding about eating, about food, about money. I think it will become very, for the younger and any generations to start educating themselves about money, the new money systems, about creating a sustainable life, or life, I hate this word, a life that is, that you create your own resources. So people become very knowledgeable how to be independent, just relying on the natural resources around. And even if money is not accessible, which at some moment it will become, unless you're part of the digital system, and some people will not want to do that, how to sustain yourself or how to go around that system. Anyway, that's another beautiful trend that I see happening, and more awareness of nature and more natural and scientists or people around just understanding how it works, tapping into some of its miracles. And then Jupiter. But this trend, yes, Jupiter and Uranus meet just in April the 20th, but this trend carries till the next 13 years. But we're going to have another little sub-train for 12 months when Jupiter enters Gemini. And it happens from the end of May. We'll stay there till June 2026. And Jupiter in Gemini will be, what can we expect with Jupiter in Gemini? Actually, the energy will lighten up a bit. It's been a bit heavy with, kind of Saturn is in the water sign, Jupiter's been an earthy sign. People were more, the issues of water and earthy signs, they're more down to earth, they're more emotional. There's a bit heaviness. Jupiter will definitely lighten up the energy from June. Let me remind you, last time Jupiter was in Gemini, one of the biggest trends and viral things in the year was 2012 was Gangnam Style. The silly dance was twerking. Miley Cyrus was selfies. I mean, come on, this is a bit of a superficial energy, but sometimes we need it to lighten up the heaviness of everything around, of those big changes. And the same year Jupiter was again in Gemini, 2011, was when a lot of new words were coined. And of course, Gemini is the wordsmith, that all words and naming and is Gemini ruled. So there'll be a lot of new words that come into our dictionary, just like 2012 was when the term selfie was invented, the term twerking, and it's viral, So new words, expect that. Newspeak, dumbing us down further. But no, there'll be new, I don't know, maybe even pictorial kind of language or way of writing. They're already using a lot of emoticons, but something like that. And there will be more lightness. There will be a bit more fun, maybe more gossipy energy, speeding up. People not minding their own business, but being curious about other people's business. Of course, because Jupiter is not best served in Gemini, because it should be involved with more of the high-minded philosophical questions. But Jupiter will just expand more of the Geminian nature of curiosity, youthfulness, silliness. I believe some great comedians will come out. There'll be a lot of good comedy shows around, some funny comedy movies that come in 24, 25, while Jupiter is in Gemini. And of course, the year 2011 and 12 was for the first time when people realized how powerful social media was. That's the first time viral memes and trends started happening. So we'll see something similar, a big boom in social media. Not that it has stopped, but maybe there might be over the next 1-2 years while Jupiter is there, new social media or the beginning of some new internet even. And let's see, some alternative to internet. I think that will especially pick up when Uranus enters into Gemini. There will be an alternative internet, some big revolution there. But I think the beginnings will start here. There might be a new app or social media as well. And that will be a great time from June onwards, guys, till June 2025. So for 1 year, preferably when Jupiter is direct, for you to, if you want to launch a website, if you want to launch a vlog. I remember I launched a website as well. I improved my website with Jupiter and Gemini. I updated it, made it bigger and so on. Launch websites, blogs, vlogs, post videos or anything, or start that will be what grows big, fast. It's a fast sign. I think the energy speeds up from the second part from June, or becomes lighter at least. It will be good for travel, do short trips, short traveling. Already starting from April, May, because the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction was good for that, we said. But when Jupiter goes into Gemini, it's again travel, more short distance travels or short term travels, like for a week, for a few days, globetrotters will go around. Gemini is more like, well, Jupiter, Uranus, maybe people travel more to beautiful, natural places, so to learn, study something. Jupiter in Gemini is more like, let's go and see historical things, cities, towns, where you can meet people. And I believe that will improve communication between people. I don't know, it might be still again over online, but there will be more interpersonal, face-in-face exchange as well. But Gemini is also our neighborhoods. There will be a big push in the media about the awareness about our neighborhoods and big nobilizing of making more noble, making more enjoyable, more livable the neighborhoods. Big money will be poured into that in 2024, 25. And by the time Jupiter leaves Gemini, Uranus enters for 7 years, and all neighborhoods will be digitized after that. It become hopefully not a digital prison, but unfortunately Neptune, first it will be wonderful. You know what they do with neighborhoods, how they digitize, make it easy, new beautiful ideas about there. Every neighborhood will have a beautiful park, will have the best restaurants and so on. And then Saturn will come, and there will be the Saturn-Uranus conjunction in 2032. I'm warning you, way ahead. And that's when they can turn into a bit of prisons. Oh, you can't leave your neighborhood unless you have a pass. Oh, you know. But there'll be some big push that starts already. That's on the low vibration. But on the beautiful vibration is people can really start being more careful about, being more connected with their neighbors, meeting the right people to get into a small community with, taking more care about their local schools. There'll be a big improvement with schools and education as well. There will be a big push, people starting new educational system. They might be from the grassroots or directly from the government. I think it's more from the grassroots, but ideas coming of some new educations that are more aligned to the new kids. And Jupiter starts those new ideas. This is great time. Uranus comes and enlarges them. After that, so for the next 8 years, this will be a theme. 8-9 years, because Uranus will be there 7-8 years. You know, so now, you know, finally, the different kids, the new kids, the old system, you know, they keep updating it, making it cool, but needs to be new methods, and some brilliant people, it might be you, will come up with new methods. Some parents might get together. So there will be this divine outpouring of knowledge about what is the right education for children, educational system, not just, and more access to everyone, not just children, adults, to knowledge, to information, to the right educational projects, and even making it, because Jupiter is making it accessible, making it, it's not about making it more expensive, it's more like making it more accessible to have the education. And so I know that reality is speeding up. I know that people need to be very well educated and informed to succeed in the coming many years and decades. But the resources will be there. It's like the planets, yes, it will speed up. But if you're willing to learn, no matter if the government is trying to suppress or whatever external forces, there will be the resources. They will be available. So whoever has the desire and the push, everything will be there for them. So new systems of education will start, plus new transportation system. This is Gemini with Jupiter there. If you want to open a transportation system, start driving a cab or whatever, Jupiter in Gemini is a great time. If you want to do a new website, a new online business, new commercial venture, really good time. I think there will be also a lot of new small businesses opening. I think that's good news, actually. And when Uranus comes and joins in Gemini, but they'll be based on different services that are new for us, that's something different. But a lot of new small, not like till now it was mom and pops, small shops. Now it's something else that with Uranus entering then 2025-6, it will be digital and so on. But there'll be a lot of new opportunities for new small businesses and new opportunities to open up. So stay tuned. I mean, if you're entrepreneurial, if you're clever, knowledgeable, if you're good at contacts or online stuff, not only online, it can be other businesses, because Gemini is not just online. But when Uranus enters there, you have to digitize them, even if it's, you know, even if you have specific services in the center of town or this, you have to be on media, you have to be there so people have access to you. This is the future. Unfortunately, if you don't like, you know, you need to have some other way of self-sustenance that is not dependent on media or whatever. But anyone who is self-employed, that's pretty much the future ahead. It's good time to publish books, to write books. It's good time. New media sources will come, because somehow there will be a renewal of the media and media information as well. Let's see what I've written. Oh, but of course, Jupiter will square Saturn twice. So once is on April the 19th, the second time is on Christmas. It means the whole second part of the year, Jupiter is in Gemini, this lightness of energy, but Saturn is squaring there and keeps reminding us they're serious matters. And whatever we start, There might be some obstacles initially. There might be a slower start than we expect, that we're hoping for. And we have to follow the rules of Saturn, because Saturn is here on top of the chart, which is make sure it's legal. Let's make sure you cross all the T's and dot all the I's. Make sure that you're doing it by law, by the book. Maybe ask for advice from authorities, Saturn in the 10th house, and then it will be, it might not be as fast going as we would like to. And even Gemini, who are like, ooh, Jupiter in my sign, my time. Yes, there'll be some opportunities, but Saturn is truly the more powerful. So there'll be quite a few blocks as well that you have to consider. And so the other thing is, there will be, Saturn is the more powerful planets between Saturn and Jupiter. So there'll be a lot of focus here on media, on the internet, businesses, and so on. But Saturn would want to, in the 10th house, would want to regulate the media. So I make a prediction that by the end of 2024, there'll be regulations who can access social media and the internet. There'll be some corrective measures because it's a square, it's not very pleasant. But it's like, you can only sign in social media, use the internet if you have some ID or if you're confirmed. Or there'll be punitive measures for whatever you say on social media. There'll be like some repercussions. There may be some big examples being made of people in the media because of that. Say someone said something and their property is taken, or they're put in jail for a year. There'll be some big examples with that. There'll be this push and pull, because Jupiter in Gemini wants total freedom of speech, total freedom of self-expression through the written word. Saturn from the 10th house above says, corrections, control, be careful what you say, okay. So there'll be this that I think is very likely coming. And Saturn is the more powerful planet. But, last time Jupiter was in Gemini, what happened? Edward Snowden happened. And he released a lot of information, Gemini, knowledge information that was before that hidden, because Jupiter is a planet that illuminates, brings knowledge, understanding about, so there'll be a big dump of information as well. And maybe that would be the reason that, governments or people in power, Saturn, governments say, we need to regulate access to information and so on. So, but there might be some big hero again that comes with knowledge. And by the way, there might be some big development with Edward Snowden, because he actually has Jupiter in Gemini, this guy as well. Some big development, resolution, next phase, making him a hero, putting him in prison. I can't tell exactly, but there'll be a focus on that, but also focus on some big source of information coming, and that is trying to be suppressed with Saturn there, and so on. Lots of previously inaccessible information, now public, big news, viral videos. Okay. What else did I write? Blackouts of internet. Well, of course, Jupiter in Gemini is internet connectivity, connecting. There might be some kind of blockages or some interruptions, especially to companies that are trying to connect us, social connection companies. There might be disruption of some social media companies as well because of the Saturn square. And there might be some also corrections. Saturn can work from a high vibrations. People that have been spreading information that is, not correct, Saturn corrects it here. And they might be from either side, And I think there is lies that will be corrected and revealed as well, because Jupiter will bring the light on media, fake media that is being compromised. So a lot of will come out about the media being compromised, news and so on, with corrective measures and that, some push and pull. But there will be, because the final, so all the way from August till the end of the year, Saturn and Jupiter pretty much in square. and it's the elections around that time. Oof, what can I tell you? They'll be like some will try to suppress certain information, block information. Others will, and when there are lies, they'll very quickly come to the surface. It's not like the last time when Rahu was in Gemini and so on. It's gonna very quickly become clear what is suppressed, what is a lie, and so on. But they'll be pushed to control the information flow and so on. Fascinating stuff. And the last time Saturn and Jupiter were in square, Jupiter was actually in Virgo and Saturn was in Sagittarius. That was 2016. And 2016, 2015, something like that. Because why am I speaking about this conjunction, this square? Because it was in mutable signs again. And something similar can repeat. Now they're in mutable signs. 2016, oh, I met my husband then, but I want to repeat. No, I don't want to repeat that. I don't want to meet another husband, sorry. But there was the first big waves of movements of people from Africa and Asia into Europe. The first big immigrant wave started. There was the immigration crisis that started. And I see the same because mutable signs are about movement. And that will be a big, big theme of 2024. I see it again with certain steps being taken, or it will be in the news a lot. And yeah, so that's another thing that I see as a repeat. But again, when Saturn and both Jupiter and mutable signs, which is especially from June onwards, these are the two most important planets for social trends and so on. They both will be in mutable signs. I think there will be more flexibility and clarity. People still not clear where they're standing. And mutable signs are great to study, to research, to investigate, to try a bit of this, go back to back, try a little bit of alternative style or something else, not fully commit to something forever, not fully, well, I mean, if you meet someone, yes, commit for them fully. But I'm talking about the whole direction of your life. So we're kind of in a bit of a transitional zone. And from 2025, guys, Saturn enters cardinal sign, Jupiter enters cardinal sign, Neptune enters cardinal sign. I mean, we're going to be, the roller coaster 25, 26 will be full on. This year, 2024, good to study something. Jupiter in Gemini, fantastic. Take courses, study. Saturn in Pisces as well, because it's good about deep research, isolating yourself. Oh, good time. Very good time with Saturn in Pisces. Release yourself from addictions. Release yourself. There's no better time than Saturn in Pisces. To the power of no is Saturn. To weaknesses, Pisces, to vices, whether it's spending too much, whether it's drugs, medical, anything, whether it's food, you have better power than other times to control, to diminish any kind of habits that are self-undermining, and possibly also to do some deep psychological work and to gain the right sources of information. And Jupiter in Gemini is fantastic because especially when you're changing your lifestyle, letting go of some kind of something that you're addicted to, Pisces, it's really good to have new interests. It's really good to have something that grabs your attention, and Jupiter in Gemini is fantastic for that. Jupiter in Gemini is like, oh, a butterfly, oh, a train, oh, this kind of childhood, joyful, curious energy. And hobbies, new interests that grab you and that distracts your mind from this thing and puts you into other interests, to experiment, to try new things. So fantastic time, Jupiter in Gemini, for short travels, for new transportation systems will come. I forgot to say, starting from now for the next 9 years till when Uranus enters into Gemini. And I think it will be trains that are mostly the focus. Trains of very high speed ones, very fast. It starts with Jupiter. There will be a lot of innovations of how even flying things, but short distance flying things, like flying taxis, flying cars from my village to the city, within 9 years it will be pretty much normal. But it starts now with Jupiter in Gemini. New ways of transportations, which is Gemini, new ways. Of course, Uranus going there, electric cars, they'll want everything electric. But there'll be some alternative ways. The genius of humans are, because electric vehicles, they use so much more electricity, they're so much more detrimental to nature, and there is more control. If a car is programmed not to go off-road, so you can explore to a natural reserve, you're not gonna go. You can just go from this town to this town. If there's no electricity, tough luck, you can't move. It's going in that direction, guys. Uranus in Gemini is just, that will come. But there will be some alternative methods. Again, the genius of humans, don't underestimate it. God always leaves us ways out. That will be Jupiter in Gemini. It starts alternative methods. Believe me, I think some of those technologies where you can run car on water, I've seen one in my town. One guy downloaded the own internet. He did it. He made a carburetor, whatever it's called, out of water. He says 1 liter of water, he would run 100 kilometers. These are there. Maybe humans will find ways as well. Oh my God, I should go in jail for all those things I'm telling you. Saturn can be punishing for what you say when it squares Jupiter. So we'll see some things like that, some kind of severe punishing for people saying some information as well, but also people becoming aware of that. All right. Well, I don't want to bore you anymore, guys. It's enough of me. 1 hour, 24 minutes. If you want to hear more of my hopefully divinely inspired and of course very slanted from my own personal view insights, you can check out my video horoscopes for 2024. They're very specific for each sign with specific degrees, if you like my style. Or you can check out the courses that I have. I teach astrology, or you can come to see me live in Bulgaria next May, I think. I still don't have the program, but we'll see. Maybe I have it by the time I release this video. You can check it out. I try to do it as cheap as possible, but I love you. Let's keep in touch. Have a blessed 2024 again. I think it's more of a transitional year, but we'll still see some spectacular, fascinating things. It's amazing opportunity to make money. It's amazing opportunity to start new businesses as well. To travel possibly. Of course, when Saturn is squaring Jupiter, August and December, approximately, or in this period, there might be some problems again with free movement. So let's see about that. I love you very much. I think there's a lot of good stuff in 2024. Towards the very end, it gets tense. Mars square Pluto, Mars retrograde. Ooh, but that's another matter. That's more towards 2025. Thank you.